Just a wrap up of the council meeting for the City of Grand Rapids for Monday, July 10th, 2017. The work session this afternoon from 2 weeks ago, we took some action as it relates to Line 3 abandonment, and they're looking at doing it in place without removing the line. And Councilmember Connolly had put together a letter with some concerns from the City of Grand Rapids. So this evening, Enbridge staff was in and had an opportunity to try and alleviate some of those concerns that we had as a city. And long story short is over the next few weeks, Enbridge will be working with the Public Utilities Commission to make sure that all of our concerns and stuff are addressed. But at the end of the day, anything as it relates to Line 3 will be a responsibility of Enbridge as it comes through. We certainly don't want something affecting our well water from wells 4 and 6 on the northwest part of Grand Rapids. So it was nice to have that staff in. We also changed for ATVs. We've amended where ATVs can go. We've shrunk that no zone where they could not go before down a little bit, so they're going to be able to get into the back side. They'll be able to get to the south side of 5th, and then on the west side of 3rd Avenue, northwest, and then coming back along Highway 38 on the other side, and then the Mississippi River on the south side is basically the borders. And what we're hoping there is to give access to ATVers to the downtown business district for different events. So we're hoping that that's successful as we go forward, and we see that there are amendments or changes, or if it's working fine, we can certainly look at making some amendments and stuff at that time. This afternoon, very short council meeting, but got quite a bit done. Just a couple of things. Actually, only one thing I wanted to talk about on the consent agenda was number 5, the change orders of 1, 2, and 3 with Casper Construction as it relates to 2009, our 2017 infrastructure improvements over on, would be the street, 4th Street Northwest, from 9th to 13th, that's been getting all the work over towards the arena and back this way, 1 block off from Highway 38. So it's a big project. It's not only getting street and curb and gutter, but it's also getting water and sewer upgrades. We're removing the old black ductile pipe and stuff that was out there and replacing with new stuff. So that street's going to be there and be usable long after the 3 of us standing here tonight are gone. So that was a good project, and we're happy that that is moving as well. Rob Matei come in and talk a little bit about the land exchange that we are looking at as the City of Grand Rapids with Independent School District 318. As 318 is trying to go through the process of deciding what they need from a school standpoint. Do they need 900s, which I am under the understanding now that they have cut that back to 750 student schools. A couple of schools, a couple of different areas they were looking at, and some work over at Cohasset Elementary School. So land that they're looking at from the City of Grand Rapids and land that they would be willing to exchange with the City of Grand Rapids that would be beneficial. I think we talked about it before as we exchanged land with Blandon, the old Showboat site with Blandon for land over by the hospital, is that the City of Grand Rapids has to be neutral in this, in that we can't give away land, nor can we pay more for it. So we have to find a value in there that is comparable. So we have moved into a services agreement with Wilson Group to find out what we have to do from the city side and the school district side to make this land exchange, if it does happen, comparable across the two entities. The other couple of things that we touched on, City of Grand Rapids has always been supportive. As you recall, going back, we did not do it this year, but there was a 5-year stretch where we were contributing to Mount Itasca $15,000 a year because we had a lot of residents over there using those facilities in the city of Coleraine. And what we are asking now, and what we've been asked to do, there's a group out there looking at expanding pickleball, basketball, and foursquare at the YMCA from an activity standpoint. And what we had said we would do from a city standpoint is we don't want to be going this alone all the time. And it seems like every time you turn around, the City of Grand Rapids is out there supporting and doing something, and we don't seem to be getting the financial support from other communities or townships around the area. So what we did tonight was we said, if we are going to do this, we are going to do this with the help of other areas. So townships around the area and towns. So the city of Cohasset, Harris Township, Arbo Township, wherever that might be, if they're willing to contribute to this project, we will match what they will contribute up to $20,000. And I think that's very fair. And hopefully we will see that initiative then on the side of the Cohasset, La Prairie, Harris Township, Arbo, as I said, to make a contribution to this project. And whatever they contribute in total between any of those organizations or towns, we will certainly match up to that $20,000 number. We had 2 public hearings this evening. First public hearing was to talk about the PEG increase. It's public education and government. It's a fee that we have out there. So ICTV and some of this is run through, and a lot of their money comes in through these PEG fees in order to run that. And it's a great service for this community and other communities to get information on behalf of communities or townships out there. So the last time that a PEG fee was increased was in 2011, that took effect in 2012. So a 25-cent PEG increase on the monthly bill will be going from, it was a buck before a month, and it's going to go to $1.25. So a 25-cent increase over the last 6 years is certainly not out of order from the standpoint of them being fiscally responsible for the monies that they do get in there and how they use that money. So the council approved that, and it will go into effect January 1st of 2018. Our second public hearing this evening was presented by the Finance Department and Rebecca Kurtz from Ehlers, they are our bond agents now, looking at our street reconstruction bonds from 2017 out through 2021, looking at how and who we will be using as fiscally responsible bidders that would assume that debt and give us that money to do that street reconstruction. And that was successful, and we are going to be going out for $2,130,000 of general obligation street reconstruction bonds 2017, sometime in August. Rebecca Kurtz was up and talked a little about, in the past, the city of Grand Rapids has used Moody's, and Moody's has some different rating criteria they use that helps determine not only, how you are fiscally and how responsible you are as a community, but it takes into effect what your businesses are and business growth. So there are several different criteria that are used between these organizations. And as we have used, I said, Moody's in the past, we are looking at using S&P this time. And Rebecca seems to feel that using S&P instead of Moody's is probably going to allow them to take a look at some different criteria that is favorable from the city of Grand Rapids standpoint on how and what we do to manage our money and to be fiscally responsible, so that the buyers of those bonds out there know that they're not going to be unmatched or unfulfilled going out over the 16-year period of the bond. So we're very happy with that, and we're hoping that the bond will come in, I believe she said, estimated at 2.8%, but knowing that that's 6 weeks out into the future, we're not sure what can happen in that 6-week time period. So they're looking at potentially there could be a 25 basis points, which is 0.25. So the worst case scenario, if it did take a 25 basis point increase, it might go from 2.8, where the estimate was, to 3.005. So once again, that's a very good rate for the city of Grand Rapids. We've been rated as an A1 from a bond standpoint, which is very good for a city our size. From a confidence standpoint of purchasers of bonds out there, those folks are very comfortable in buying bonds from the city of Grand Rapids. So with that, we look forward to seeing everyone on the 24th. This is the 10th of July. Get out there. We're starting on that downward slide, folks, where we lose a little bit of time as we go forward. So use this time wisely. Get out and enjoy the nice weather and stuff, and we look forward to seeing everyone in 2 weeks. Have a good evening.